Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. JACALYN. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. JACALYN at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to USA Global TV, and hello to our friends listening on Business Talk Radio. I am Dr. JACALYN KERBECK. I'm very excited to be here for the Mallorca Connection. We are going to be talking about a wireless life. Wireless life rocks. And joining me is one of our trifecta team members here at USA Global TV. He is a co-host, a talking head expert, and an elevated listener. Let's bring on Mr. Roland FRIEDL. Hi, Roland.
Hi, Dr. JACALYN. How are you doing?
I'm so excited to see you and about our guest today. I feel like it's kind of like a family reunion because he introduced me to you. And I know that you've been busy on the road and you are the role model for a wireless life that rocks. And so is our guest today.
Absolutely. And I'm very looking forward to this show because, as I mentioned, John introduced me to you that I was invited by John to do an interview months ago. And now I invited John to come back on the show. So I really love it. And it's a cool topic, I guess, because more and more people are open-minded to become more independent, more free, more traveling and becoming wireless life. And I'm very looking forward to hear how John is doing it because I know he is also traveling a lot and living wireless.
And I think that people in the audience can take away from this program, whatever it is you're doing in your life, if it's not your passion, look at going wireless, becoming independent and doing your own thing. That's what I did. I've got this green screen. As long as I have this green screen and this computer and Wi-Fi connection, I can do so much, Roland, as you do, and same with John. So I'm going to spotlight you for people who are joining us the first time. Why don't you share a little bit about your background and the other things that you are doing when you're not here on USA Global TV?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, my name is Roland. I'm originally born in Austria, in a beautiful small country in the middle of Europe. And I'm always traveling since I'm young. I always love to travel to connect with other cultures, with other people, to learn from them. So I'm not going on vacation, sitting in a hotel pool, really traveling. Traveling means connect to the people, learn about the culture, about the history, about the country, about the food, whatever it is there. But as a profession, I run a company. It's called Spartan Performance. So since almost 3 decades, we train and coach leadership of huge international organizations worldwide. That's why I dedicated my life, because I love to support the leaders, not only to perform better, meaning being more profitable, being faster, more growing, but also have a purposeful life. That's what's very important for me. So have a good work-life balance, just to be happy and have a purpose in life and a good meaning. That's what my main business is. And as I love to work, I have no TV set at home, so I don't watch any TV. What is good, I don't get manipulated by any media. So I focus what I love to do, focus on my own life and focus on the life of other people to support them. I run a platform that's called Sparring for Men. This is just for men, sorry girls, but just for men, where men can share in a safe, loving, full environment, all about their thoughts, about their anxieties, about their emotions, about the man being their role as a man. This is a platform that helps men. I do this because I strongly believe when men have a platform to learn about themselves, becoming a better version, the world will also be a better one. And the other thing is, actually the topic today is wireless life rocks. As you mentioned, Dr. JACALYN, I love to travel. I love to be in different places. Right now, I'm in my home in Mallorca, but I still travel a lot, even from Mallorca. And yeah, by the end of the month, I will make a Mallorca break, as I call it, for, I don't know, a year and a half. So the plan is to have no plan, and I will travel my motorhome, my RV, for a year and a half in Europe and work remotely from there. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. And of course, I encourage and support people and coach them who want to do the same, becoming an independent, what I call a wireless lifestyle, to travel, to work from everywhere. As I always say, the world is my home. The world is also my office.
I love that. That's really well said, and such an inspiration for people who are chained to a desk, right? They want to just get out and live and go out on the road. So before we wait any longer, I want to bring John Christian out, and I want to have you do the introduction since you were the one who introduced us. But I think so much of this man. He has coached me personally and helped me make a major breakthrough on the air, something that I was just doing didn't make any sense, and he helped me walk through it. But he's also an entertainer, an actor. He has just sung to people and made them cry because his voice is so beautiful. And of course, he's a heartthrob for women everywhere.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love this man. I love this man. I met John, I don't know, 6 or 7. I'm not good in times because I never look back. I guess it was 7 years already ago in a beautiful ashram on Paradise Island in Bahamas. I came there for 5 weeks of a yoga teacher training and meditation, and he does his karma yoga. So we met there, and since then we're in contact. And 1.5 years ago, he visited me on the island. He was at my home, and yeah, we deepened our relationship. And it's always a blessing to communicate and have an amazing conversation with John. There's so much to learn from him, and I love this guy. Not only when he's singing and he's comedian, but also from when he's talking about his spiritual path, how he changed his life. It's just an amazing guy, and I'm very happy that he's back on the show, and we will have a cool conversation. So I'm looking forward to have you here, John.
Welcome, John Christian, to the program. Hi, John.
Hi guys.
Hi, John.
We've missed you here. It's so good to see you.
Yeah, thank you so much, and it's so nice to be back and to see both of you again.
And for folks who might not be aware, John and I did a show together called Life's Amazing Journey. And as Roland mentioned, we actually had him on, and that's how we met, and that's how we're all connected.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The network.
So, John, tell our audience where you are right now and how things have been since we saw you last.
Yeah, right now I'm in Portugal, and I'm in some friends' homes this evening, and I'm living sort of about half an hour away from here. But we've been out today to champion horseship jumping and stuff like that, so it's been wonderful. The weather is superb here, which is my main attraction for being in Portugal. Plus, I love the people, and like Roland, you know, my life is about traveling and exploring and learning and growing, and I think we should be constantly daring enough to do that.
Absolutely.
John, before I take you off spotlight, I'd love for you to share with our audience about the fact that you left your home in England with a backpack and what happened then.
Well, actually, I'd been traveling when these recent times came in. You know, I'm very much reliant on my intuition because I actually lecture on developing intuitive intelligence in unis and schools and like that. So I'm always testing my own ego mind against my intuitive mind, for example. And I'd been traveling for over a year through the States and Australia and different places, and listening to all the fear mongering going on in the media, which I understand, having worked in the media nearly all my life. I know how they use it. And I'm listening to all that stuff, and I'm looking at what's true reporting and what isn't, and I'm talking to friends that are in the media and getting the inside story and all of that. So I'm just going into my meditations, feeling my intuition, and going to the countries that I knew were going to be the safest at the time with the least propaganda going on. So I'd done that a bit, and then I came back from Australia and called Roland. We were chatting away, and it was still like heavy stuff going on in England. So I went, oh God, I'm out of this. So Roland said to me, why don't you come to Mallorca? So I went over to Mallorca, and we had a great time together, as you just said. And then I got back to England, and again, it was still going on. And personally, you know, because I know the industry, I cannot bear the negative use of the media. It just drives me nuts when we can use platforms like this for healthy, real education in real life skills. So I put my backpack on and thought, right, where shall I go now? Portugal. I love Portugal. I was recently there filming a TV commercial. so I thought 10 days in Portugal, that'd do me. So filled my backpack up, came to Portugal and stayed 10 months.
I just love this story. And you had a great time, right?
Oh, and listen, you know, the only person that ever makes my life difficult is me. So, and that's been my whole life's journey, is learning how do we not get in our own way, basically, you know, and how do we learn from ourselves when we get in our own way? What can we do about that? How can we change that? And I've been fortunate enough to have mentors in my life that have been so consciously aware and present that their whole life was dedicated to helping other people to understand consciousness and the way it functions and how we function consciousness in and through our own body and through our five senses into the daily marketplace of our lives. So from the things I've learned from them and my own direct personal experience, which is always the greatest teacher, I'm at the place where I am now. You know, I'm really comfortable in my own skin. I have moments like everybody else, but the difference is when I'm having a moment, I've got the mental and emotional skill to know I'm getting in my own way right now. So that needs to change. So I'm learning from myself all the time. Don't think like that. Don't speak like that. Don't feel like that. Don't behave like that. Change it. And you change the energy, basically. That's all it is. If you keep it simple, you just change your energy from a moment of being negative about yourself or life.
I guess you mentioned something very important, John, because when I coach people, I said who want to travel more or living more independently, and I always say, first of all, work on yourself, because when you don't feel comfortable with yourself, it doesn't make any difference, because you always bring yourself with you.
And well, we know this, Roland, because we've had a life of traveling ourselves around the world. When I first became conscious enough that there was another dimension called my spiritual nature, and I decided to pursue and understand from spiritually aware people, I found that wherever I went, even if I went to sit at the feet of gurus, I still carried me in the way. And the lessons that I got from the gurus was to be conscious of, look, hey, you've come all the way around the world to learn and grow from me, and you're sitting there being self-conscious and self-judgmental, and you're trying to put me on a pedestal and trying to get me to give you all the answers, but I'm not going to do it. You learn how to do it, and I'll give you the skills. So that's the difference. And I think that life's doing that to us anyway, but what's missing is, I think basically what we're doing, and other coaches like us around the world now, we're providing a forum that should actually be foundation training in every education system from as soon as children start going to school. Real life skills, not just development of left brain, predominantly rational, logical, deductive process, but a holistic learning for self. So you're really comfortable of being in your body, in your life, in the marketplace, and you develop the skills of knowing how to think properly and behave properly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also think, as you said, you have to be comfortable with yourself. You have to self-develop your. But for the audience listening, I mean, guys, you can also learn and develop yourself and grow on a journey, on when you're traveling. But as long as you're not escaping from something, don't run away from something. Go towards something. Don't run away from something. But you can. I was growing and learning a lot on my travels from different countries. It made me much more open-minded. You know, people are so scared because they don't understand the language. They don't can read something. You're much more open-minded as a person from traveling. That's my own experience.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. My life has taught me that real living is about experience. And like you're just saying, many people run away from experience. Why? Because it's something new. So they imagine the worst and they frighten themselves before they'll even step out the door. I think we've been fortunate enough, and especially me as an entertainer, I've had to face those fears. I've had to go out there and face all of my self-conscious doubts and fears in front of up to thousands of people. So that life experience has given me so much that now when I look back at, oh my God, look what I've learned. If I didn't have to learn that at school from day one, and now when with all the people I've spoken to and I've coached, they're in the same place. They're all going, but how do I do this? And, you know, like, why do I get so fearful? And why do I have these opportunities that come in my life? And when I do, instead of my mind being free and going, whoa, let's dare to jump, my mind goes, oh, no, yeah, I'd like to, but what if?
Yeah.
And we stop ourselves.
Yeah. And I guess, I don't know what you think, John, but I strongly believe what I learned is, even with traveling or working remotely, it's not a rocket science. It's nothing difficult.
No.
It's just like everything else I make, just making a decision. Yes, I want to do it. It's not a nice to have. I want to make a decision. This is my goal. I want to do it, and then make an action plan and prepare, and then go for it. Do the first step, learn, get an experience, maybe change something. Say, okay, that's not a good way. Maybe I go this direction, but just go and experience it.
It's fascinating when you think about, you know, when you look at yourself and go, you know, like, why do I put myself in such predicaments? It's because, like, in my culture, it's taught me to be mostly mentally orientated. So I don't trust my gut intuitive self any longer. My mind's not thinking about it, connecting with it. So I'm only half a person, really. And what's happened to most of us in the West, we think our lives, we don't trust and feel our life, or we don't trust life itself within us to guide us like the animals do, you know. So we're trying to survive just on a mental level, mostly on a 5 sense level, you know, but negating right now my gut feeling, my intuitive intelligence is telling me, go that way. But then my mind comes in and goes, yeah, I'd like to, but what if, and da-da-da, and we miss the moment.
Absolutely.
Well
you know,
said,
I know
John.
so many, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say, I know so many people, you know, they're watching people on YouTube, on channels, on TV shows or soap operas, and they're watching or observing other people's life, if it's fake or not, but not doing the first step, step. It's the same, like I was reading a study that we both practice yoga. So 80% of people who buy a yoga journal never practice.
No.
They just read about it. They don't practice. And it's the same with traveling. People are looking at magazines or videos that, hey, what the fuck? Just bring your I don't know, your luggage, your backpack, whatever, and just start. Just start.
Well, I think, you know, our task as coaches nowadays is to do everything we possibly can to provide forums of enlightened education where we can talk to each other about the nitty-gritties of the things we've learned that hold us back, that make us afraid of life, you know. And I was saying this earlier, I think that in the upside, the best thing that's happened with the COVID stuff is it's given people time and space, if they've chosen to use it this way, to reflect and to consider. And now, as the topic of this conversation, we're asking ourselves, so how do I survive now? How do I create now? And what I've realized is the only way that I personally fundamentally answer that question is I have to go inside myself and start there. If my mind only traps me with, oh, it's this out there and it's that out there and I've got to do that, then I'm missing the point. But if I'm turning to myself, which is why meditation and mindfulness have been so important for thousands of years, if I'm learning to operate my own energy consciousness in my own body, I make of myself a receptive instrument or a higher sense perception intelligence called intuition. When I follow my intuition, it's like you get in the stream of life. And as if by miracles, things work out, as we know. Otherwise, we wouldn't even be sitting here chatting to each other like this tonight if we hadn't done that.
That's very true. When I think back over my life and paths that I went down that were not the right choice, I didn't listen to my intuition. It's so simple. It's so plain and obvious. And when you do, and you put yourself out there, like the three of us, you guys are living on the road, so to speak. I've moved twice during the pandemic, left my corporate career. You find your passion. And I think we're actually drawn to each other, to like-minded people or people who follow their intuition. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. I think it's unquestionable. You know, to keep it simple. I mean, even the Bible says it like this as well. You know, it's like, seek first the kingdom of heaven. You've hidden it from yourself in your own heart. You think, what does it mean? You know, when do I ever feel like my life is an experience of being in heaven on earth for a moment, when my mind is not in the way and when my mind is quiet and I'm sitting with my heart, and my heart is the guiding principle. You know, whatever you want to call it, gut feeling, intuition, sixth sense. You know, when I sit that way, I feel good in my own body. So that means my energy field has changed. And that means I emit a different energy. And that means other people are affected by my energy differently. And they are drawn to you. And then things unfold like the three of us sitting here talking to each other right now. And ad infinitum. You know, we live in this ocean, just like fish. This is my experience. We live in an ocean that our five senses don't allow us to perceive. If we meditate and transcend the limitation of the five senses and develop the intuitive mind, we see the ocean and we swim in the ocean. And that ocean is a collective consciousness. When we are committing ourselves to be part of that collective consciousness, which means whoever I talk to, I'm talking to myself, right? And if I love and care about myself and my own life, I want to talk to you in the same way, and I want you to feel the same. And then we will grow and flower together, as opposed to what we're experiencing predominantly in the world at the moment.
What a beautiful analogy. I love that.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing that with us. And speaking about touching people's hearts, I would love for you to sing, if you would do us that wonderful pleasure.
I'd love to. So we've lined up a song because I suspected you might ask me to do that. So I'm actually, this is a song that it was very famous on both sides of the Atlantic. Many artists record it. It was recorded by Marie John Wilkins, and she writes some beautiful stuff. You can find her on YouTube. But this is One Day at a Time. So if you know it and you want to sing along wherever you are, please feel free to do so. It lightens us. Here we go. One day at a time, sweet Jesus. I'm only human. I'm just a man. Help me believe in what I can be and all that I am. Show me the stairway that I have to climb. Lord, for my sake, teach me to take one day at a time. One day at a time, sweet Jesus. That's all I'm asking from you. Just give me the strength to do every day what I have to do. Yesterday's gone, sweet Jesus. and tomorrow may never be mine. Lord, help me today, show me the way, one day at a time. Or do you remember when you walked among men? Well, Jesus, you know, if you're looking below, it's worse now than then. There's cheating and stealing, violence and crime. So for my sake, teach me to take one day at a time. One day at a time, sweet Jesus, that's all I'm asking from you. Just give me the strength to do every day what I have to do. Yesterday's gone, sweet Jesus, and tomorrow may never be mine. Lord, help me today, show me the way, one day at a time.
I was singing along with you. That was beautiful. Absolutely
I love
beautiful.
this thing.
My dog is also applauding.
We have a message from Philip Sykes. He's sent a couple messages. Thank you, Philip. Great to hear from you. Great messages and guidance. Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Philip.
We love Philip.
Yeah.
All right, John, that was such a beautiful song, and just I love it. It just touched me right here in my heart.
Yeah, thank you. It's great. You know, it's the beauty about singing and songs is it bridges all barriers. You know, and I know some people, you know, object to terms of Jesus and relationship like that. But, you know, for me, in my studies, because I actually trained to be an interfaith minister, to really understand what the hell were they talking about? You know? Well, how does it apply to me today? Who is this Jesus guy, you know, that everybody talks about, who changed the whole course of history when there was no media? How the hell did he do that, is my thinking. So in looking into that, you know, what I've learned from my yoga practice and with martial art masters and things like that, they teach the same principles that Jesus taught, which are guidelines for living, and how to literally fall in love with your life, you know, and to live it properly, fall in love with yourself in the process. So when I think about Jesus, I think about a person who was a master of life in a physical body, who came to teach us how to do that. And he even said that, although you don't hear many ministers saying that from the pulpit today, that know ye not ye are gods, I'm paraphrasing here, and children of the Most High. And apparently in ancient Aramaic, Jesus would have said to his students, don't forget you are Allah. And what that meant, one of the interpretations in those days was, don't forget you are your very life, and you are your very breath, and it's called Allah. And that means God, or it means all that is good and all that is beautiful in you and in the universe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love this. John, when you were singing, it reminded me when you've been on the island. I guess it was this amazing boat trip we did to JACALYN on the way back. We both singing Let It Be. Do you remember in the car?
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. Let It Be by the Beatles.
Oh, we should do a line now. When I find myself in times of trouble,
Mother Mary comes to me,
speaking words of
wisdom.
wisdom, let it be.
Let it be. Living is all about having fun. I mean, life is hard. It's a roller coaster, but it's just having fun as much or often it is, and whatever it means. For somebody, it's singing or traveling or connecting or whatever it is. It's just having fun and what you said, following your heart. And I think that's what people have to learn. Don't be scared. And I want to share something with the audience and with you two guys. I mean, I travel a lot. I work remotely, but to be honest, I still, and I give you an example. I'm very open. Still, when I moved into my RV or full time for the next month, I also have a little bit of doubts and a little bit of anxieties. I mean, for sure I will do it, but I also say, what was happened when it's there? I also have this. It's not that I go blind into it and said, okay, let's do it. I also have this, but I guess the same with John and myself is we know it, we prepare it for it, but we go forward.
Yeah,
we're not superhumans. We also have doubts and anxieties and stuff like that.
Oh my God, absolutely.
Yeah. But it doesn't stop us.
This is the difference for me now. People say to me, like, so how do you do that? How do you do all that stuff? And the difference is having had great teachers in my life and applied what I've learned from them. So I've had the personal experience. Oh my God, that really works. It's just not secondhand knowledge from someone else, right? So I try everything out. So what I'm finding from doing that, right, is everything we've ever read in scripture or teachings of wisdom is absolutely true about you and I today as it was thousands of years ago. And it's so simple. The Bible says the truth is simple, it will set you free. So to yourself be true. The question is for us nowadays, who is the real self? And that's what we need to help each other understand. In the beginning of my life, I was told during the education system many times, you're a thick, stupid idiot and you're never going to get anywhere. So I took that on as a belief system. And I spent 27 years living in fear that was true, all the time knowing intuitively it wasn't. But that was very confusing. So when I look back on that and think, oh, what did I learn to do? How did that happen? How did I lose myself like that? How can I know in my heart that was never true about me, even though I was told it, and then unfortunately started to believe in it? Then I acted as if it was true. So when you look at it, it's a process of the function of the mind. So when you learn to train the mind, so the mind you're in the driving seat of the mind rather than the mind is driving you. You can learn from it because you watch those patterns coming up of the doubts and the fears, and then you take time out and you reflect on noticing the voice that's going, should I do this? Should I do that? Why shouldn't I do this? And then you quieten that energy down so you can hear and feel your intuitive intelligence and connect with it mentally in the body. And then you follow the flow of the feeling more than the thinking, but it's a question of learning how to balance that within yourself, the balance the process. Yeah.
And what helps me absolutely is because I also sometimes have anxieties or fears and stuff. But what helps me is my goal, whatever it is, traveling or go there or do this or become this, whatever it is. First of all, my goal has to be huge enough and it has to be relevant for me. So I really want it. And then when fear comes up, it still is happening for me too, especially when I have bad moments. What helps me then is I always think about what's the worst thing that can happen. Will I die? Probably not. Will I go to prison? Probably not. So what can happen? What really can happen? Maybe I give up. I remember when, for example, when I moved to this island 14 years ago, all my friends said, yeah, where are you moving from? Well, what happened when you don't like it? I said, well, when I decide it's not working, I pack my stuff again. I go back to Austria. That's the worst thing that happened. I go back. But I think we only regret things we never tried out. This is my message for all the people out there. We only regret things we didn't try. Because the only thing about what's the worst thing that happened. And when I look back as a small child, I mean, we always have been fear and about stuff that never happened. We always worried about thinking. At the end, it never happened.
You know,
It never happened.
I often say this when I'm coaching or teaching. You know, how is it that we know? I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have thought that. I shouldn't have behaved like that. And we know we shouldn't have done it. So how can we be so intelligent to know that, and yet so slow and unintelligent to do something about it?
Right, right.
So this is where we've, as people on this planet, collectively, we have to help each other understand how personal that is and how each of us has got to know how to change that. We've got to know, I am so intelligent, I know when I'm doing wrong. I'm actually telling myself spontaneously, instantly. So if I can sharpen that process and catch that process within myself, and then go, oh, okay, so that's a pattern, that's an energy that is going to take me down the wrong path. So I want to stop it now. So what I've learned from the enlightened minds I've been with, they are so present. The mind is not splitting itself and going into can I, can't I? It's just sitting with this intuitive, all perceptive, all knowing, conscious intelligence of life that is saying, now, you do this now, in this moment, you do it now. So their life is constantly unfolding from the moment, beautifully.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That makes so much sense. I have a quick segue to that. On Saturday, I went to work out, and I always wear gloves, weightlifting gloves, and I brought 2 left-handed gloves. So I turned the right-hand one inside out. And long story short, I was up on these handlebars holding all my weight, and the coach coached to do a walk down where you let go of one hand and walk down. Well, my right hand slipped, and I slammed my arm, just missed slamming my chin. And I was literally terrified for the moment. And I thought, oh my gosh, I guess I'll stop doing the class because I don't know what I'm doing. But my intuition told me not to wear the glove inside out because there's a reason why the gloves are the way they are. So long story short, I kept going. And the next day, when we were on the handlebars and coached to do the walk down, for a second, a split second, I was afraid. And my intuition said, just do it. You've got it. You've got the right gloves on. Yeah. So I feel like if you have the right tools and you have the right mindset and you listen to your intuition, yeah. I made a mistake the day before. I wasn't going to make it again.
Yeah. And you know, each day, trusting that more and more and your ability to catch yourself in that moment, for me, is the process of self-enlightenment. It's the ideal process of, you know, I'm learning from myself in every moment, as long as I'm teaching my mind to be vigilant and on the spot. So Jesus referred to it as co-creativity. No, you're not, you are co-creators. You know, so if you look at your whole life to this point in this moment, it's just the unfolding of our former imaginings, right? So we have co-created this moment collectively with each other. And fortunately, through this media, we're able to share that same process that everybody else is in. The more you become consciously aware of the process, then you apply it more and more, and you become the proof of your own inner heart's truth knowledge. That's the test.
Yes, it is. I'm speechless. We have a comment from Diane Floyd Beam. Love you are in the driver's seat of the mind, so you can hear. Love it. Thank you for the beautiful song.
Oh, thank you too. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Diane's also on the road. She's one of our team members here, and I think she's on her way to rodeo.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I've never done that yet. I must do that. Next time I'm in America, I want to do that.
Wow, what a great show. I'm having so much fun. Philip Sykes has another comment. This is priceless. Thank you. Thank you, Philip.
Thanks,
Philip.
I would love to have the 3 of us and anybody else out there who's interested do a yoga class online together. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah. Why not?
Sure would. You just have to get the camera angles right. That's the challenge. Otherwise, people are just going to see a foot in the air and wonder what the hell you're doing.
Well, I actually teach yoga online, and I mean, I can set my place up so it'll work. But yeah, I'd love to do that with you guys.
Well, actually,
me too.
each of us could show a part of us, and so the audience will say the total one.
Okay, listen, I'd be happy because I'm away and I don't have all the camera system and everything. I'd be happy to take the mindfulness process and the breathing process on that.
Fantastic. You've got it. You're just
Yeah.
signed up.
Yeah, and John, I'm still working on our workshop we've been talking about.
Right.
So for people who want to live a wireless life, being more free and independently, I guess we will announce or bring the free workshop together end of April, beginning of May. We will announce it on my website, on the events.
Yeah.
So we invite people who want to learn more. We do a free 1.5 hour workshop together.
Wonderful. Yeah,
So that's
absolutely. I really look forward to creating that with you. It'll be great fun. I just like to make this point. We used to be talking about freedom. You know, what is freedom? We think it's having money and riches and all that kind of stuff, and all that's lovely. But I had a Japanese master as well as Indian ones who was freedom in the body, and I spent so long with her and traveling with her and looking and understanding. Oh my God, it's like, how is she so free? How is she so joyous? How is it that her body in her 80s feels like she's just come out of the womb, and it feels like a mental stress never went through the cells of that body, and wherever she went, she was joyous and happy and glowing and laughing, you know, even at times when I'm going, oh my God. So, and she taught me what freedom is. It's a state of mind. It's a state of consciousness, you know. So if we are going to really fundamentally change now, and for me, that's why the universe is presenting us with this challenge. Because basically it's saying, come back to your spiritual nature, raise your consciousness, raise your intelligence, raise your awareness, and do it by doing it. And that's the issue. You know, we're shortfalling on doing it. That's where we need each other. And like I was saying earlier, it should be foundation principles in every education system. We need to have the courage and the guts. In the Bible, it's called stand and be counted. Many are chosen. I've got the term now anyway, but many are called, few are chosen. That's the thing. Stand up and be counted. So I think that's the question that's in everybody's heart right now. What am I going to stand for the rest of my life? How do I want to spend the rest of my life force? What kind of difference do I want it to make in the world? Not just for my own personal stardom, fame, riches, or I've done all that bit, but for the betterment of all. And that's the fantastic opportunity we have right now. We need to rise to.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I think many people during this pandemic have found their purpose, and others are still searching. And to your point earlier, if not now, then when? This is the time to look inside.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
From those who are spiritually aware, you know, they agree that what all the prophecies say, this is the time when the greatest battle of all between the forces of light and dark will be fought. And that means in you and I personally and globally. So that's what we're seeing, really, if you're interested in looking at it from a spiritual perspective. So to me, the most important thing is we've got to return to our spiritual nature. We've got to help one another create a life where it's not just about money, stress, work, fame, fortune, self, love, the perfect partner. It's about understanding consciousness and co-creativity. And how do we start moving energy in that way where our experience is the proof that everything that's ever been taught in the great wisdom teachings is absolutely true of us today, as it's always been, if we apply it.
So many impactful statements that you're making here today, John. It's just, I try putting it all together, this handsome, dynamic entertainer with this beautiful voice and somebody who's so deep and so thoughtful, so relevant.
Thank you.
No, thank
That's
you.
empowering. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate you saying that.
Thank you.
It helps me. It helps me to go, yeah, thank you so much. You know, I've dedicated my life to this, so thank you for the feedback.
Well, you're touching all of us here today, and I'm so glad you're back because I've missed you.
Yeah, me too. And it's great what we're doing. You know, thank you for providing this forum with your creativity and all the time and the energy it takes you just to do this, you know, because you're doing God knows how many shows a day are you doing now?
Well, last week we had 19 shows, and this week I think we have 20. Right. So
yeah,
it's,
you know, so you know that's dedication, and it's dedication to using the media in a good form of education, I believe.
Thank you. And to your point, Roland, I don't watch television either, but this is television. So I will watch our shows and programming like this, but I don't want to hear the news. I don't listen to the news. I'll do a quick glance on my phone, but I feel like I'm all about the power of listening and inner peace, and inner peace is intuition. And if we all led a life that was really focused on inner peace, we'd be closer to world peace instead of where we are. That's what I believe.
Absolutely. I always say kick out your TV set and watch US Global TV and learn from all the experts and expertise and get inspired, and then get involved and go to action and try it out to make your own experience.
There's a lot of people now that are saying, look, hey guys, nobody's coming to save you. And they're absolutely right. We have to now realize I save myself or I don't, you know, and we save each other or we don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. And John, for people we have some people who just joined, what are some things we can do to work on saving ourselves, and what does that look like? And then Roland, I'd love to have you comment as well.
Yeah, well, it's personal responsibility, you know, and learning, what does that mean? Am I really, truly responsible for every thought I think, for the way I choose to make myself feel emotionally, physically, mentally, the way I choose to behave? Actually, the naked truth is, as much as our egos don't want to hear it, we are. You know, the universe holds us totally accountable for everything we create. And there's a law of karma, which says whoever sets a cause in motion is bound by that law to see that motion through, negative or positive. And thank God there's a law of grace. The law of grace says, if you realize you set a cause in motion that is not in tune with what your heart is telling you you should have done or could have done, and you learn as fast as you can and hold yourself responsibly accountable for not repeating that same mistake by putting more energy into it, then you earn the law of grace.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Roland, what would you like to add?
Well, for me, it is, it's all about thinking about what really makes you happy. And this was my journey about just thinking, reflecting what makes me happy. And I came across, of course, I love material stuff. Yeah. But it's not the thing that make me happy. So the question is, of course, I love to be in a 5-star hotel, but can I also be a happy human being when I'm in a simple hostel? Yes, for myself, I can say, yes, I can. I love to have a delicious food at a fancy restaurant, yeah, but I'm also very, very happy with amazing friends in a simple place. So for me, it's enjoying the good things, but I'm not attached to it. Yeah. So I'm not absolutely not attached to it. Like I live in this beautiful house in Mallorca. As everybody knows, I give it up by end of the month. Yeah. Yes, I enjoyed it. It was cool. It was lovely, but it's not my life. It was a part of my journey. Yeah, and now I go to the next one and live it more simply in RV. So for me, it's being independent, being free, makes really thinking about what makes me happy. Yeah, and it's not material things. They're nice to have, of course. They're convenient, but what I learned is, even when I learned it the hard way, when I went to really challenging times, I learned so much, and at the end, I was so happy and satisfied and peaceful. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think we can both really recognize that, because we both had similar thing. I've been through all the fame and fortune bit and lived with the mega rich and the mega famous, and then I've had to learn humility. And I think with humility comes grace. and that helps me to understand the Buddhist saying, there's only one enemy, guess who it is? There's only one battle, guess who it's with? So there's only the self-ego, the self-created little ego. And unfortunately, it gets a bad rap because I've learned you can have a healthy ego, not just a fearful one or a pumped up one that's always looking for, proof that I'm okay. When you're true to yourself and comfortable in your own skin because you trust your own process in knowing, God, do you know what? I just really screwed up. But instead of beating the hell out of myself a year in and year out, I'm going to go, hey, do you know what? I screwed up. I just learned that's not the way to do that. So I'm not going to do it anymore.
So healthy and enlightening to have that kind of perspective.
I always say, stop posing, start living.
Yeah.
We have to have it. We have to have an ego. That's why God put me in show business, to learn about what is ego. It's like I've been on every level of ego to learn the humility of realizing, oh, that's how it works. Oh my God, that's how my own ego is the only thing that sells me down the line or brings me to where I want to be.
Yes.
As long as it's humble.
John and Roland, I am having so much fun with both of you, but we have a show coming up right after this that stars Roland.
We got to go.
So we have to go. But John, I'm going to spotlight you, and I want to keep you to your word. You're going to come back and visit with us again, and also you'll do the mindfulness for a yoga class with me.
You got it. Yeah,
all right,
for sure.
Fantastic.
You got it.
I'm spotlighting you again and putting up your banner. And for people who are interested in reaching out, if you can just recap, what are the services and offerings that you provide, and how can people reach you?
Okay, so just briefly, because of time, I have an online training program that consists of 10 modules, and those 10 modules have aspects within the look at the whole self and how to understand how to be an integrated self, not just a divided house within yourself. And they're some of the best things I've learned that have helped me personally along the way in my own learning, growing process. I also do intuitive guidance for people, personally, one-on-one. I do training programs when we're not in restrictive areas. I sing, as you know. I do concerts. I love to use both as an educational forum. I'm also an actor, and what makes me really laugh at myself, at my ripe old age, I'm a model. So I survive by doing all of these things, and I've learned that you have to be flexible nowadays. If you want to get out there and be free, also be flexible and daring. And just like the birds and nature, trust that there's a greater intelligence that will feed you and take care of yourself. You trust that in yourself, and you'll find different ways to do it. That's the way it works.
Thank you so much, John. An absolute pleasure and delight to have you here with us today.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you, buddy. Looking forward
Bye.
to meet you in person soon in Portugal when I drive down my motorhome.
Shanti, yeah, you better, because we're going to have some fun on the beach. We'll meditate on the beach, and we'll put it on the program and share it with everyone.
Absolutely.
I look forward
This
to
has
that.
been fun. Thank you.
Thanks again, John. Talk to you soon.
Dr. JACALYN, love to Mum.
I will tell her.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye. Roland, I'm going to spotlight you quickly for you to give your information, and then people can stay right where they are because we're coming right back from a different studio, and you're going to be leading us through your Talking Heads presentation.
Absolutely. Okay, shortly, when you want to connect with me, go to my website. It's my name, rolandfriedl.com. I will spell it for you. It's ROLANDFRIEDL.com. So whether you're running a huge organization or a startup company and you need support for your organization, for yourself as a leader, you will find information there and get linked to this one. If you're a man and want to join a man's group, or you're a girl, a lady, and you want to bring in your man to become, or your partner becoming a better version of himself, so you find information there and links there for Sparing for Men. And if you relate to this topic we've had together with Dr. JACALYN and John about living free independently, Wireless Life Rocks, you will also find a link there for Wireless Life Rocks, where we can support you and help you to do the first steps. And if you want, we can also go with you part of the way of your journey. That's all about me on rolandfriedl.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Roland Friedl. I look forward to seeing you in 3 or 4 minutes.
Yes, for Talking Heads. I'm very looking forward to that.
All right, we'll see you soon. Thank you, Roland.
See you. Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Everyone, thank you so much for your comments, whether you're watching on the live or the replay. It's just great to have you with us. We do have between 17 and 22 live shows each week. Just a quick plug for myself. In addition to running this platform in USA Global TV, I also have my own personal business, which is drjacalyn.com, and I teach people how to listen. Isn't that a skill that we all need, especially now? You can join my elevated listening community and learn more about it on my website, drjacalyn.com/join. We'd love to have you. All right, that's all for right now. We will be right back with Talking Heads and Roland Friedl. Thank you so much, Roland, and thank you, John. God bless you all. We'll see you again soon.